Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the DiceHate Podcast. Your host, Kris, joined again by Luke. So, hi, Luke.
Hi everybody.
Yeah, Luke can actually see me this time, so
I know, it's
he
weird.
knows if I'm pulling faces at him, so it's disconcerting. But we're gonna do a little bit of a review of all of Luke's tournaments, obviously being on the correct side of the Atlantic, or is that going to lose us all of our four listeners?
I think one of them's from someone I know, so probably not.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if we go for a UK audience, we'll be okay. But yeah, from the other side of the Atlantic, we obviously have a decent turnout. Well, I'm gonna not steal Luke's thunder for those. We'll quickly run down my terrible games that don't really count for much, because I've already spoken about my regionals on the last episode. And then we'll move on. Obviously, if you're watching the YouTube videos, it's going to be a running series so that we don't get too many 4 hour long
4 hour videos.
Yeah.
4 hour Nova Squadron style videos.
And then if you're listening to a podcast, it'll just be in different parts, so it'll move seamlessly from one part to the next. And I think that's it. X-Wing news, I don't really want to do covering stuff like that because we don't do a podcast regularly enough for that to be relevant. So yeah, stuff happened, ships were released, it's awesome. And
Wave 11 has not been announced.
Well, no one wants that anyway. It's probably just like a shuttle Tiderium, because why not? And then it'll be like an assault gunboat, and people don't want that to come out anyway. So
it could be a Jedi starfighter.
Yeah, as long as it's not a Nubian fighter, or if it is a Nubian fighter, I want it to be for like scum and like just ones across the board, and just terrible. I think there we go. It's like a good 2 minutes of not talking about what we want to talk about. So we're still amateurs.
Still amateurs at that.
Yeah. We don't ramble for like 4 hours before we actually get on topic. But,
so how was your exclusive invite-only tournament?
It was good. We played a hangar bay format, so I managed to run my scum bumpy control list, which I think I did I did the Wave 10 videos. So I flew 2 games with that. Won both of them. My TLTs were doing one hit and getting evaded quite a lot, but I still managed to win, so that was fortunate.
Cool.
Getting the final shots on things with a quad jumper is amazing. So for people who don't know what the list was, I didn't actually prep my list, so why would I? It is a contracted scout with hotshot co-pilot, anti-pursuit lasers, and trick shot.
Yeah.
And he's 33 points. And then it was a Torquil Mux with Intel Agent and a TLT.
Yeah.
A Jakku Gunrunner with Space Tug Tractor Array and Ketsu.
Yeah.
And then a Spice Runner, which is a PS1 Scum Hawk, in case you're not familiar with that term.
I know what that is.
Which had a TLT and Greedo, which is my favourite combination currently in the game.
So fun.
TLT Greedo is just like filled with winning.
Yeah.
Especially on like a 23-point Hawk, where it's like, do I want to kill this, or do I want to keep letting him crit me? So.
Yeah, and he's PS1, so hopefully the shields have gone.
Well, no, because you're PS0, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's good fun. That one, killing stuff with the Gunrunner is interesting. Trying to get more involved in the play style of it. It's really hard to talk about in an audio format, so I definitely need to try and record some of those games.
I saw one of the videos that you did where the guy you were playing just hadn't. It was one of those times where he looked at your list, but he hadn't figured it out. Not that I'm saying I would have necessarily.
Yeah. Is that one where he swams with the K-Wing, and then the K-Wing dies, and then the U-Wing dies, and then it's Ahsoka against the world.
The way it should be.
Yeah. And that's my fun. That's why I love the list so much. It's like, oh, I've got a Soak, you can't shoot her. Well, I think you'll find she's PS0, so I can shoot her. And
yeah, so trolly.
Yeah, it's good fun. So I played 2 games with that, won both of those. Then I ran a list that I created just to play a game on Vassal, because I started doing that again, which I still don't like it as much as playing like real life X-Wing, but it's actually a lot better than it was. The interface is pretty cool now. It's getting better. So I might keep messing around with that a little bit more.
So I've never played it. Never used it.
I installed it when I first started doing stuff with Nova. It's going to really annoy me on the video. There we go. It's okay. It's gone. The giant red hang up button just appeared on the shot of me.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. I'll edit that out of the audio, but we're staying in the video.
Okay. So when you started playing Vassal?
Yeah, it took so much longer to play than just a normal game, but it's pretty good now. Apparently in the next patch we're going to be looking at doing auto bump, so if you bump it'll just put your ship in the correct position regardless.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. You can import lists now straight from any of the online squad builders. You just post a link in and it builds your squad for you.
Okay.
So
do you still have to like learn all the commands and
well, I suppose you should, but I'm like click. Oh, that's what I wanted. Scroll down. Click. And
okay.
I don't do any of the keyboard shortcuts yet, but
okay.
Yeah. It went pretty quickly actually. I played Rear Admiral Shiranu with Determination because it's a 2-ship list, and Kylo Ren currently destroys 2-ship lists. So yeah, Rack with Determination, Rebel Captive, Vader, Gunner, Ion Bomb, and Engine Upgrade, and then Ryad with Expertise and X7. And we were talking about it before we started. I really like that Ryad as an offensive tool. She gets to do a bit of repositioning, still have modified shots, take a target lock, have fully modified shots, or focus evade and not need to worry about defense. But she is like relatively expensive still, because it's a 4-point EPT. But anything that makes them think about leaving Rack undamaged for a little bit longer is fine by me.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those bait and switch type plays. You've got to do whichever one they focus on. You trade a bit of damage and run, and just do it that way. But I was on the final table of our invite-only tournament, and it was against an Upsilon with fire control system and Palpatine, an Inquisitor, just standard, and a standard Omega Leader. So pretty different. The Upsilon is pretty scary. It hits like a truck, so you've got to do
a ton of damage.
Yeah, and I managed to just delete Omega Leader right in the start.
Yeah, because Omega Leader would turn off Expertise.
Just as it's like I've got to kill something first, and I don't want Omega Leader to be last when I can't Vader anymore. Yeah. So literally, the first shot was everything evaded, so I just Vaded the shield off him for 2 of my shields, because then I get to Gunner and I'm now Vadering into his hull. Yeah. So shot again. He managed to evade. I think he only got like 1 hit something anyway, but I evaded anyway, and I can't remember what the crit was, but it was basically you're now going to die next round if I don't kill you with Ryad. Yeah. So Omega Leader went down really, really quickly, and then it was a Rack with no shields and an undamaged Ryad against an undamaged Inquisitor and an Upsilon, and he managed to get a crit on me as I'd positioned to have Inquisitor at range 1 of Ryad, who was target locked focus on Inquisitor, and it would have been a target lock rack ability shot from rack.
Yeah.
Out of arc. But then he got a crit on me, which added a stress. So I was looking at my positioning. I was like, I'd planned to do a 3-bank around the mustache rock. I was like, I'm sure the 2-bank will still fit. I'm sure the 2-bank will still fit. And the 2-bank didn't fit. So I just clipped the rock, and that was like the start of a really, really bad day. Other than that one mistake, that mistake cascaded into a second one. I had the choice of breaking off, then weaving Inquisitor and focusing down the Upsilon, which, having made that mistake, I think that would have been the correct play. But I carried on trying to hit Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if I go for the Upsilon, remove that damage potential and Palpatine, whichever one of my ships is left is more expensive than the Inquisitor for one, and should do okay.
Yeah, it's very easy to say, but it's like, for me, when I'm at events, it's always like 101, don't hit a rock unless you mean to, just because it throws everything out.
Because I hadn't pushed, or I wasn't expecting to get stress.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted the target lock shot so I could either ensure that I miss, or, I needed to get the double Vader into him, basically. Because if I get double Vader, that's his shield's gone, and he can't come anywhere near rack again.
Yeah.
But I should have done the 2 forwards to clear the stress instead, or the 3-bank and kept the stress. I got greedy and tried to, and it was tight, but
it's just one of those things.
Yeah, but that took the game completely. It was just bad play. So he said after we were chatting about it, he got lucky. It's like, well, I don't know how much luck's involved in me just being bad. So it's not like the dice suddenly.
It's politer than saying I won because you sucked.
Well, it's true, I suppose. It was a really good game. He took initiative as well. So my rack was doing a lot of dancing, but it managed to get the Upsilon shot 4 damage. The Inquisitor did another 3, and suddenly I'm sat on 3 hull points instead of 8 and 9. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, so Vader's extremely risky if I use him now.
Yeah.
It just went south, and one of those games. It's fine. It wasn't the worst, but it was not the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my games that I've been playing. And what about you? What have you been up to?
So last time we spoke, I was about to go to a regional in Sheffield, and I went to that regional, and that's the end of that story because I didn't do very well. No.
So other than watching your video that you've got out there already...
I bubbled. That's what I'm going to say. I bubbled, but I didn't bubble on the cut. I bubbled on getting a red ace card. So I finished 68th out of about 120 people. This is the UK Sheffield regional. You're all right there. You look like you dropped, dropped the microphone.
Yeah, it just crashed on the keyboard. It's all right.
Can't interrupt me or anything.
No.
I'll just plough on because they can't see you on the podcast. So I went 3-3. I would have liked to have gone 4-2 just so that I would have won more than I'd lost, but at least I didn't lose more than I won. And that time I tried Bosk and Asajj.
Yeah.
PS9 Bosk with cluster missiles and Asajj with stuff. Oh, push it. I made a mistake. I was queuing and someone else was checking my list. And I said, "Why have you put shield upgrade on Asajj and not engine upgrade?" I was like, that is definitely a mistake. There is no reason that I need a force shield. And as it happened, it didn't make any difference. I don't know. In terms of probably highlights or favourite game, the first game was way more stressful than it should have been. Against a guy called Lee. He had Ray and Nora, and we both got our approaches wrong, but I got my cluster missiles off on Nora, and then I kind of rolled all my dice and he went, oh, that's how that works. I was like, yeah, now you're on one hull.
Yeah.
So that worked okay, but I only got the cluster missiles off in half the games, which tells you a little bit about how I was using them, but also I think how I was flying them. I think probably I would have been better with the homing missiles. Even when I was rolling them, they weren't giving me the massive sort of amount of hits that I'd hoped for. Even with Dengar crew. So,
unless you're really spiking that like 9 damage every shot, for me, if you're using the YV, it draws you into the fight, and if you get into a fight too quickly, you're screwed. If you don't kill them, they are behind you. Whereas in homing missiles, you can stand off and still be pretty effective.
Yeah, and the thing that I'd really wanted to happen was that people would look at the 666 and go, oh my gosh, that's going to put out so much damage, I need to kill it.
Yeah.
And leave Asajj alone. That did not happen. So Asajj died first almost every time. And including the time where I put her on a rock and she died. And then I was kind of, repositioning against the Inquisitor and Wampa with a YV666 that has stress all over the place. So there we go. I went 3-3, and I was a bit bummed out on the way home because I was thinking, oh man, I was in a bit of a funk. Like, I don't really know what to do. I was trying to do something else, and I didn't enjoy it. Not because I didn't win all my games, because that's not, you don't enjoy a game, like winning and enjoying aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
But just, sometimes they are. But
winning's fun, right?
Winning is fun. But it's how you win that's fun, or how you play that's fun. It just wasn't my style. I did fly against someone who had Guri. He had Guri, Fen, and Manaru, and he jousted me with Manaru and Guri, and I was sat there thinking, "Oh, this is great! I'm gonna unload into Guri, and he is gonna. What is it? Is it a boy or a girl?
It is a robot
alien.
Built as a woman.
Right. So it
shit.
With Sensor Jammer.
That's the only way to run her.
Yeah. And she didn't die. She didn't die the whole damn game.
So that's the opposite to what happens to my Guri. What happens to my Guri is I have Sensor Jammer, auto thrusters, and a focus token for being Guri. And I'm out of arc, and then they just roll 3 natural crits and I explode. That's how my Guri works. So, you've got Sensor Jammer? I'm just going to roll crits. Does it not work anymore? Oh, should have made your list better. It's like, I should have. I should have not taken Guri.
Guri was the only thing left alive. I killed Manaru. I killed Fen. And I've got this flipping Star Viper, which the internet says is no good. And I can't kill the damn thing. And I'm chasing it around with Bosk again. So I just thought, this is I can't be bothered with this. So I came 68th out of about 120 or so.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend,
if you say out of 136, we'll put you in the top half.
It would have put me in the top half. I was not in the top half.
No.
No
one would have checked. You wouldn't know.
Well, I would know.
That's a lie. It's the internet. Somebody would have
everyone
checked.
Would check. That one of the 4 people who will listen to this may check.
Yeah.
The following weekend I went to Yavin, so that was the British System Open. And there were... How many people were... You've got loads of System Opens this time, haven't you?
In Canada, no. There's none. There's 0 in Canada.
Yeah, but ever. Canada's the 53rd state, isn't it? So how many are in America?
How many regionals do you have in the UK?
7, 8.
So if you add the number of X-Wing and Imperial Assault regionals together, I think you still have more regionals in the UK.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Than in Canada?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
But I think there's, 5 system opens in the US this year?
Yeah, there's
3 or 4 over here.
Yeah, we moved a decent amount into North America, shall we say. And
hashtag bitter.
I don't mind, I wouldn't go anyway because I hate X-Wing. It's a terrible game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So, our system open last year, I think, was the biggest X-Wing event ever. And I didn't go. This year, this year I went, and there were 390 people there, all in one room, which was loud. But apart from that, it was fine. And I took Jump Masters. I went back to Old Faithful, and I felt good about myself because it wasn't Dengaroo and it wasn't 2016.
Yeah.
So I wasn't running Paratani.
So did you feel like a special snowflake?
I did feel like my own special snowflake, yes.
Yeah.
And so we had 7 rounds that day. You needed to go 5 and 2, in case you don't know how the system opens. You need to go 5 and 2. So briefly, very briefly, first game I played 4 Lambda shuttles, and I was like, in my head I had 2 narratives going on at the same time. One, oh my gosh, this is great. I didn't get like some hilarious powerful net list, and then also, if he's brought 4 Lambda shuttles, he must know what he's doing.
I've played against 3 Lambdas and a fire spray before in an event, and if you can think of a way to do 40 damage in a game, you're okay, it's done. If you can't, and they jam up, well, I don't want to ruin your story, but I assume they jam up the table, make you not be able to move anywhere, and it's all about blocking with the one that you're nearly about to kill. So he set them up 1, 2, so kind of all equally spaced along the board edge. Yeah.
And I was like, I out PS you.
Yeah.
What? Because a lot of my game is designed around blocking. Because of the 3 scouts, 2 have torps, and the other one's a bunkmaster with iron projectors, and I have 2 intel agents. So and I set up to come down one flank and smash the one on my right side, and then I thought this will be the same as 40k or any other war game. I'll hit one flank and roll up the side, and then having moved the first turn, I realised that if I tried that, he would murder me because he just trapped me in whatever. So I started to come into the board and blow a hole through the middle and try and get behind him and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I did win that game, which I was pleased about. Second game, so the previous event at Sheffield was 120 people. I played a guy who had double casters called Twig. Second game, in a 390 person event, I played him again. And he decided to joust me. I don't know why he did that, but basically...
Can he count to 11 better than you?
No. Well, maybe he was counting to 11 on one of those new mats. I don't know why he did that, but basically I annihilated Asajj very quickly, but in doing so got all of my ships out of position, and then Ketsu soloed them one after the other. And so I went from being like massively up to, oh, you've just blinded piloted me and I was about to talk you off the board, and now that one's dead, and oh God. So that was annoying, and he's at the regional I'm going to at the weekend as well, so I've told him that if I have to play him, I'm just going to flip the table and then we'll go from there. And then I won my next couple of games. I played Rak Ryad, beat that, played some K-Wings, beat that. Both those guys are really nice.
So how did you find the K-Wing bomb list? Because that's one of the on vogue lists at the moment that the internet seems to either praise or complain about. Depending.
So, again, I out-PS'd him because he was flying 3 PS2 ones with clusters and whatever. And I tried to be quite cautious because basically he could, be wherever he wanted. So there's no point charging in. I thought if he does slam, I will be able to torp him. And then if he's slamming, he's not shooting me.
Yeah.
But he might be, that's not what the list is designed to do. I think the hard one so the two things that that helped in that game were how manoeuvrable the Jumpmaster dial is.
Yeah.
And three things. The turret as well. So I've got a turret. It's only 2 dice, but he's got 1 agility, and I out-PS him. And then the amount of hull that the Jumpmaster has, because he cluster mined me quite a few times, but I'm not Corran Horn, I'm not Fen Rao.
Yeah.
Even if you smack me for 5 damage, I'm not dying that turn.
Yeah.
So, and I think those were when we were chatting about the game afterwards, those were the things that he was like, actually, it's just a really hard matchup for me, like, because of some of those things.
So I think the way you should play it is not worry about the bombs as much, and you've got to use the fact that he's 3 small ships with turrets to his advantage, because if he can get past you so the tops aren't as much of an issue, he can try and concentrate 3 2-dice shots onto one of your ships where you should only be getting 1 2-dice shot, maybe 2 back at him. But then it becomes still an attritional game, and then you use the mines to cut off table space rather than dropping them on you and stuff like that. I think that's the only way you win that matchup as the K-Wing player.
And I hugged the board edge so he couldn't really slam past me.
Yeah.
Because he would have gone off the end of the world. So, the edge of the board is the end of the world. So eventually I got to, round 6, I was 4-1. I'm thinking, this is great. I've got myself a set of fancy target locks. I potentially could get 2 more and be 6-1. I mean, not in my wildest dreams to actually think that would happen. But I was like, if I win my next game, I'm in the second day. Go and look at the pairings. Oh, I'm playing Tom Reed. Great. So he's the guy that went undefeated all the way through Worlds with Shadowcasters. And what did he have? Shadowcasters. So he also jousted me, but he put the rocks in a different place to Twig, and the engagement was slightly different. I made a couple of mistakes as well. And I only got half points on Asajj. So I lost like 100 to 20, 30, what would that be, 24, 25?
Yeah.
And I didn't get as many torpedoes off either. So I know a lot of it's a mental game. You sit down, you think, if you approach it thinking, I'm probably going to lose this, then yeah, you probably are. But the guy went 9-0 at Worlds with that list. I'm just like, this is more of an uphill struggle than my previous rounds. Was kind of the positive mindset I was trying to approach it. And the last game I played against Paratani, played a guy from Portugal, and he insisted that we share dice because that's within the rules and you can do that. I was like, okay, fine. He was like, whose dice do you want to use? And I said, your dice. And then I thought about it and went, no, my dice. Because I'm a wargamer and I'm superstitious. Yeah. And I think that was the deciding factor.
Your dice.
My dice. I read his approach like a book and not a good book.
For you, it was awesome.
For me, it was a thrilling read, but basically a thrilling read. But basically, I blocked his Fen off. I don't think he thought I could get. I don't think he realised where a 4 forward on a large base ship, and then a barrel roll front to back put me exactly where I needed to be for the 3 hard turn that I thought Fen was doing. So then Fen was out of the fight, and he put Manaru. There was one turn where he had no actions because Fen bumped, Asajj bumped, and Manaru was on a rock. So I was like, well, okay, I'll just shoot Manaru. That's what you do in this list, isn't it? And took Manaru out, and that was one of the games where Intelligence Agent really shone, actually, because Manaru could have got away the next turn, but because I knew where she was going, she didn't.
Yeah.
And so I made the second day. I went 5-2, made the second day, which was a Sunday, and I decided, but I knew where I was on the standing. So I finished 66th out of 390 on the first day, which I was really pleased about, considering I'd finished 68th out of 120 the previous week. I decided, I could see from my MOV that even if I 100-0'd all of my opponents, something that hadn't happened all day, I wouldn't make the top 8. So I thought, I might go back for one game, try and get some shield tokens. I didn't realise they gave us a full set of Hangar Bay cards when we turned up as well.
Right.
So that was really cool. I've got the plastic Art Arabesh card.
Yeah.
So I went for one game to try and get some shield tokens, and did not get shield tokens. I only got one set of the torpedoes out of 4 off in that game.
Yeah.
Which, the more I think about it and how I approached it, I barrel rolled instead of target locking because he read my approach, but that meant I didn't get any torpedoes off, and all of that.
What were you playing against in that game?
Triple Ds, so Vessery, Ryad, and the PS1. And actually, the thing that I dislike about that most is the PS1 because it blocks me.
Yeah.
And
you
generally
can't kill
speaking,
it first.
I can't kill it first, but it's blocking me.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what the right order is. I think, on reflection, based on that game, it's probably Vessery.
Always Vessery.
Ryad's
annoying, but Vessery kills you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it doesn't. Vessery just kills you. There's no getting around it. He does more damage than either one of them. Arguably, he can do if the Delta's blocking, it can do more damage than the other two put together.
Yeah. So, but Rob was a good player. He read my game. And he benefited from it.
He can count to 11. Good man.
He can count to 11.
Yeah.
So I ended up 5-3, and because I dropped in the overall standings at the end of the tournament, I think I was about 78th.
Yeah.
Because everybody above me went on to, because I dropped, so I automatically got shoved to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
But even so, out of 390, I'm happy to, and of the best players in the country, but also some of the best players in Europe.
Yeah. You played some good players and took an interesting list. So.
Yeah, I took. Well, it wasn't. Did you see the list that was in the final?
I've not done any research into it at all.
Okay. But... So the one of my friends got to the top 4, running Rastatani, which is basically Paratani, but he thought of it before it became an internet sensation. And his name on Facebook's Rasta because he's got dreads. Somebody else who I'm friends with got to the final, and he was running accuracy corrector TLT Hera with Navigator, and some other stuff, and then Ahsoka. So complete and utter jank, but really good at it. His name's Cal, and I watched some of his semi-final stream, and he just positionally getting Ahsoka to use the boost action on the Ghost because the Ghost got engine upgrade. Just I was looking at it thinking, I don't know what I would do against that. Like, how do I?
Well, it makes you basically infinite pilot skill on whichever ship you're going to be trying to dodge with, because it happens in the combat phase. So, we were talking about it with Terrence. Guys helped out on a couple of videos before, and he was thinking about trying to do away, finding a list to do it where you put it on dash, Ahsoka with dash. If you've got dash moving up effectively pilot skill infinity in the combat phase, it's like, oh, you think you're in my donut hole? Nah, you're okay.
Yeah, and it would bypass Manaru's, depending on where initiative is, it has the potential to bypass Manaru's target lock.
Yeah,
pushing around.
And the other thing I really like is accuracy corrector with TLT, because I've been saying that accuracy corrector is a perfectly viable choice for a ghost for a very long time, and some of the people who do a math tell me I'm wrong, and I like that.
But it's just so it's 2 dice, so 2 hits 4 times a turn. Yeah. You might dodge it the first and second time.
Yeah, but you eventually it cuts off the bottom of the bell curve. You don't have a bell curve, you have a downward slope. You either get 2 or 3 hits with your TLTs.
Yeah.
Whereas you still have to actually roll dice into that curve somewhere. And eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The other really funny ghost list that someone from my from Warlords ran from my club. So Kanan Ghost with Jan and Rexbeck, Jan Oz and Rexbeck, and then Biggs with R2D2. So Biggs takes the evade. Kanan gets 2 focus. You have to shoot Biggs.
Yep.
And you're at most getting 1 hit through.
It's a shame you couldn't put Captain Rex in there as well.
Yeah, it is a shame. That would be because obviously the Ghost has Zeb and Kanan has a TLT.
Yeah.
And he went.
That is the better choice, because you need the offense of a Ghost to actually do work. Whereas doing it with Rex might be funnier, but you don't kill as much stuff.
Yeah, you don't kill as much. So
you were saying how he did. Sorry.
Yeah, he went 6-1, and someone, one of our guys took a photo. So one of the British podcasts was going around taking photos of everybody and got a photo of him shaking hands with his opponent across the table. One of our guys turned it into a meme. It just says, "Hi, I'm John Banford. Welcome to Jank Wing." Just from the sheer what do you mean I don't get any hits? Well, I rolled 2 evades. You only have 2 dice, and I have an evade token and a foot. Complete nonsense, but great at the same time.
Yeah. If you're willing to sacrifice the Ghost Phantom combo, Captain Rex in there as well. It's like, okay, so you're a Phantom shooting at Biggs. So you roll 4 dice. No, sorry, you roll 2 dice. And I've got an evade. And I'm rolling 3 dice for Biggs. And if you hit me, I'm going to bump into a back of myself with a green move and get my shield back.
And maybe even Tactical Jammer somewhere in there.
Thanks for playing, though.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
In an amazing way. So I had a really good time at Yavin. I was really pleased to get to the second day, actually, although it did create... it did mean I had to spend more wife points. What does Chad call... Is it Mashari Al-Faris?
Yeah.
Is it the beast from the Middle East?
Yeah.
Or something like that. He's the guy who won our Open.
Yeah.
So
Mashari's a good guy.
Yeah, I went to a good guy. Yeah. I watched a bit of the final, and he just closed in on the Ghost from all angles, which I think is the way to do it. Yeah. So that you can't get away and navigate away.
Yeah, and it all comes down to, again, how much damage you can put on it, how quickly, and not let it escape. So
yeah,
that's good. Mashari's a really good player as well. It's good. he missed. I think he ran Crack Swarm at the Nova Open last year and was a bit disappointed with it. But he's a really strong player, so
Yeah.
makes you wonder just how strong the meta is out there.
Yeah, I mean, if he's improving through playing with other people, then
yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm going to call that the end of part 1. So actually a review of the 2 events you've been to and my chatting about playing in people's basements. Thanks, Clay, for inviting me. And we'll call it there, and we'll be back in moments, depending on how you're watching it.